You already know they're doing it to him. The Tom Aspinall smear campaign has started. I mean, I'm seeing a lot coming in from both sides right now, but the most important side is Daddy Dana's side himself. And you see it in the thumbnail. I mean it. Dana thinks Tom quit. Dana thinks Tom quit. Now, obviously, you know by now, Tom Aspinall got poked at the end of round 1. Rendered unable to continue after a double eye poke from Ciryl Gane. Double. Okay, not 1, but 2. So here's the post-fight press conference. Dana White saying all but the fact that Tom quit. But he makes it clear. Let me put it like this, alright? In this press conference, Dana White makes it crystal clear that his new golden goose is Ciryl Gane. The new golden goose of the UFC is Ciryl Gane. Alright, rematch coming, but it's Ciryl Gane. And there's a lot to this, a lot of underlying, I think, developments that have resulted in this. I don't just think this is because of the eye poke. I think this is partially due to some stuff during fight week that unfolded. If you know, you know. But I will be talking about it after we go over Dana White and Ciryl Gane's press conferences. Furious fucking Dana. Alright?
Attendance was 13,220 tonight. It was sold out. Klein fight was fight of the night. Performance of the night was Walker and Quinlan. They all won $50,000.
You can already tell by the tone of his voice. No hi, hello, sits down, head down, reads off the stats. Not happy. Already kind of doing the act job, you know what I mean? Making it known, making it clear.
All right, Dana. Well, obviously, not a way we want to see a main event end, any fight end. Give us your reaction to the eye poke and how it all went out.
I mean, I feel the way everybody feels. Great showing, shitty ending, you know? I think that after the Jones fight, a lot of people wrote Ciryl Gane off. He looked damn good tonight.
Yeah, what did you think about the fight on its way to the eye poke? What did you take from those 4 minutes?
Good. Looked like we were in for a few rounds, and it was going to be a good fight.
It would seem obvious that a rematch is right on the cards. Would you like to just rebook these guys as soon as Tom is able to get back in there?
Yeah. Total pain in the ass, but yes.
Yeah. Have you got any medical update on Tom, or is it still too soon?
He's on his way to the hospital.
It's a bit of a weird question, right? It was ruled a no contest because of an unintentional eye poke. What does it take to make an eye poke intentional, and is there even a way you could ever prove that?
Who the fuck knows? Who gives a shit? What are you going to do?
I know.
I mean, real quick, this wasn't super telling off the bat, I will say. But clearly he's like, you know, Tom looked good, which he did. No lie there. Tom looked good. Or sorry, Ciryl looked good. And he confirmed the rematch. He says it's a pain in the ass, but it's got to be done. So, rematch on the way. Ciryl looked good. It gets juicier, though.
We, tried to do new gloves before, and that kind of didn't work out. Is there anything we can do to stop these eye pokes? Would you ever look at maybe trying to change the gloves again, or is it just part of the sport? Just shit happens.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what you do with the glove, I mean, they're going to happen.
We'll continue, but let me read some chats real quick. Ciryl will beat Tom. Tom is overrated. I mean, yes, Taylor, we found that out as well, didn't we? We found that out as well. We'll talk about it. We found that out as well. Does that mean he quit? No. So let's talk about that in a second. Gane was doing good, but the eye pokes were bad. He was beating Aspinall damage-wise before the eye pokes. Louis, there we go. You know, both are true. Jon Jones has hilariously trolled Tom Aspinall. We will look at those tweets as well, Taylor. Tom's striking isn't super great. He just has some hand speed for heavyweight, and he's tall even for heavyweight. Gane has actual defense like a smaller fighter, and Tom's 1-2 blitzes isn't effective. Louis, you're hitting the nail on the head. You're hitting the nail on the head. Let's continue this press conference.
Other heavyweight fight on the main card, Volkov, Jailton, Almeida. It seemed like even though Jailton got all the takedowns in control, he just wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
Even Ben Askren.
Listen, you.
Well, Ben Askren was like, "Why is Jailton like allergic to throwing punches in there?" Was his exact phrase.
You can't win a fight by just laying on top of somebody. That's not how it works. So, I was actually very happy with the way the judges scored that fight.
You'd want to do the rematch between Tom and Ciryl. It's very fresh, but any potential timeline for that? Like maybe January, the kick off the Paramount card?
Yeah, I mean, they're both in shape, other than whatever's wrong with his eye. You know, both guys are not injured, so as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dana, what about the rule? It's only the second time in a championship fight that we do have a no contest for such thing.
Here it is.
We just have to go by the judges and the fighters' will. That's just the way it is. For him to say after 5 minutes, I can no longer continue. What I'm trying to figure out is there different levels of eye pokes? You see what I'm saying?
Nobody sees what you're saying, sir.
It's only up to the fighter to stay whether or not he wants to continue.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Oh, yeah, what am I going to say? Hey, Tom, no, you're going to keep fighting.
Ciryl tried to tell him or go toward him, and Jason Arzog said, don't talk to the opponent at that point. So I guess they were trying to figure out to one another.
You can't, just like, you know, I can't make people fight, right? If I want to put together a fight, I can't make people fight. And you definitely can't make somebody continue if they feel they've been injured. Only Tom knows what happened. You know, could he see? Couldn't he see? Could he continue? Only he knows that.
I appreciate your answer.
Yep.
Thank you.
Дэйн, приветствую.
Yep.
I mean, so clearly, this journalist believes Tom should have continued the fight. That's why he's asking the question, is it really up to the fighter? Like, there's nobody else that could override that decision? Which is kind of crazy, but I mean, and that's why Dana said, what am I supposed to say? No, you're fighting. Like, he feels like he got hurt. He's claiming he got hurt. You can't force a guy to fight that claims he can't see off of something that he had no control over being done to him. But nonetheless, with all that being said, this journalist is suggesting that Tom should have continued fighting, that somebody should have overrode Tom's decision, and Dana basically agrees with him. You know, that's why Dana picked it up right away. I didn't pick it up that quick, but Dana picked it up right away. He's like, what am I supposed to say? Like, yeah, you should keep fighting? Because another way of interpreting that could have been like, why is the onus on the athlete, right, to say he can't continue? Why can't someone else step in as far as like the doctors and call it for him? But they're going in the narrative of like, he should have continued. You know what I mean? So that he's already agreeing with him. And then he goes in and he says, only Tom knows. He makes it crystal clear. Only Tom knows. You know, was he poked? Was he not poked? Could he continue? Only Tom knows. You know what? We're pulling up the pictures, bro, because this is a little bit ridiculous. This is a little bit ridiculous that Tom has to go through this right now. Okay. This isn't even the clearest photo. But this was going in on a takedown attempt, apparently. So what is it? Ciryl Gane? Because I don't think Tom was shooting on too many takedowns. Was this the game plan? This is just a conspiracy theory, but it's like, you know, did the coaches say, hey, on the first takedown attempt, eye poke, bro. Eye poke. Get him guessing. I don't know. It could be. All's fair in love and war. And then here they are calling unintentional, right? The judges call it unintentional. You never know what they discussed behind the scenes. Knuckle deep in his eyeball, okay? Knuckle deep in his eyeball. And Dana wants to say, only Tom knows what happened. Could he see? Couldn't he see? Could he continue? Only he knows. Bro, I'm going to go on the side that Tom couldn't see, man. And I see people saying, oh, he's covering the wrong eye. And okay. All right. I get where you're coming from with that. But here will be my only argument for that. If you go watch the replay of the fight, which I don't know, I guess you had to buy the pay-per-view to do that. If you watch the replay of the fight, or maybe there's a replay on Twitter somewhere, Tom flashes his eye for a second. Before he gets the towel and shit like that, you could see his eye, and it's red as fuck, dude. It's red as fuck compared to the other one. You could tell his eye was spasming. So, like, I don't know if it's just a bunch of Twitter accounts who don't really watch this shit, but I was dialed in on the fucking event. I was watching it in front of my face, and I could see the eye that Tom was covering with the towel was spasming. So, I don't even buy that narrative. Like, oh, Tom is covering up the wrong eye, like, or claiming it's the wrong eye. You know what I mean? Go back and watch the replay and look how red the eye was. I don't know. That's just my take on it. I don't think Tom's faking. Do I think Tom was getting his ass beat? Yes, I do. I do. Do I think his holes got exposed a little bit? Yes, I do. I do, 100%. But do I think he used this as a way of getting out of there? Not really. Honestly, no. Upon further review, I just don't really buy it. And there's more to what Dana said. So let's watch that real quick. That's not the biggest clip yet. We got the biggest one coming up.
I want to ask about the Volkov fight. He won today with a pretty close split decision. And this way, a lot of people in the commentary, a lot of people in the comment section said that maybe this was a here's your victory back for that fight that he was supposed to win against Gane but didn't. So he basically got
That over for me. What?
So and the opposite, he was owed. And
Вы прошлый немножко жестче, вы Ciryl Gane.
lost to Gane. You said something different, but I'm just going to say that you told him he was robbed.
Judges made it doing anything.
На человеке ничего не делая. Возможность драться за
Меня, что Ciryl ему для этого.
the main event. Likely Volkov is now the official #1 contender. The victory, whoever wins that is going to fight Volkov.
I have no idea what's going to happen. First of all, I can sit here right now. The fight just got over however long ago. What makes sense is to do the rematch. It makes sense. Sitting here tonight, so yeah, that makes sense. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. Anything can happen between now and, when I get him. We're not talking this Tuesday. I go from here to Saudi. I go to Qatar, then Saudi. I'm still here for another 8 or 9 days. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not saying anybody's going to be a #1 contender outside of Ciryl Gane. I don't know. But right here, right now, being honest, which I never do this ever, is talk about, what next fight's going to happen. The rematch is what makes sense.
Adamant on the rematch, and yeah, Volkov getting the shit end of the stick here. He would have thought that he's #1 contender, he's getting the title shot next off of the winner, but now this fight got to get run back, and then you got to book it with Volkov. So, I mean, shit. Depending on when these boys can run it back, Dana wants it run back ASAP, you know what I mean? So let's see. 3 months from now? I mean, January could be a viable option.
Unfortunately for Volkov, he won the fight tonight, which I thought he should have, but there's been lots of bad decisions in the UFC. So I'm glad that went that way for him. Unfortunately for him, the main event was a nightmare and, doesn't make him the #1 contender right now.
About the main event,
Here it is.
Coming into this fight between the two of them, Ciryl was the underdog and Tom the most popular. With the few things we've seen into this fight, I feel like Ciryl was doing pretty well. Do you feel the same? And do you feel that he's earned respect so that people would care even more when you make this fight again and the odds would be more equivalent?
Yes. Yes, I agree. I think that, I said earlier, because of the Jon Jones fight, I think everybody was sleeping on Ciryl Gane and sort of wrote him off. And he's right behind me. He's coming in next, so you guys can ask him how he felt. But I feel like, I'm sure in his camp, he was training like an animal for this fight, and it's unfortunate that it ended the way that it did. And yes, I think that there probably will be a lot more interest in the rematch after they saw, he had Tom bloodied up, and Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. So the rematch, Tom bloodied up, and
That lip smack, though.
Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. So the rematch is very interesting.
Tom didn't want to continue. Putting the blame on Tom. The smear campaign has started. Dana White not fucking with the Aspinall camp. Now, why, you might ask? Why, you might ask? Well, DJ, play the clip of Tom Aspinall's dad saying he doesn't want him to re-sign with the UFC. DJ, play the clip.
You're okay with an MMA champion, but you wanted a boxing champion.
Boxing for sure. The money is
More money.
yeah, more money. Why not?
Would that be an outcome for him? No.
He's 3 more fights on the contract now.
Okay. So
And I don't want to sign a new contract.
okay.
Personally.
So you said that you wanted a boxing champion.
Yeah, for sure.
So 3 more fights left on the contract, and I don't want to sign a new contract personally. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no coincidence. Dana's playing hardball. Dana's playing hardball. He's saying it's fuck me, then it's fuck you. You know what I mean? And that's how the game's about to be played between Dana White and the Aspinalls. So, low-key unfortunate, but that's how the cookie crumbles. You gotta play your cards right. It's chess, not checkers. Unfortunately for Tom's dad, he was being secretly recorded by the Ray-Ban Metas. Those damn Ray-Ban Metas, bro. And here's Ciryl Gane's reaction to the fight as well, real quick.
So I started the fight very well. I know he loves to start very fast, and so I was touching him. I was, defending the takedown, and in the middle of the first round, I was feeling myself in a state of flow. I was starting to understand very well what was happening, and then I felt like I would end this fight. So I started the fight very well. I know he loves.
So yeah, Ciryl Gane feels like the finish was on the way too. You know how it is. I feel like it might have been on the way. Taylor says the holes in Tom's game were exposed in the fight versus Gane. Yeah, they were. They were. And the thing is that Tom's been fighting on such a, first round knockout, submission. Like, we're not seeing much. We don't know. He hasn't really even been tested. That's what I mean when I say tested, not by tough opponents, but like these tough opponents haven't even been able to like present him problems to be like, okay, he can handle that. He hasn't been able to even get out of the first round. And today, he was able to handle some of the ass beating he was taking, but he wasn't able to deliver anything really of significant offense on Gane. I was saying the same thing Dana's saying, and I think a lot of you are saying, which is that, a lot of people are sleeping on Gane because of the loss to Jon Jones. And I think, if anything, that whole experience made this experience easier for Ciryl Gane. Going through what he went through in that Jon Jones fight and coming back from it, I think this was easier for him. Gane has improved his takedown defense since the Jones fight. Taylor, it was that, but I think it was also partially magnitude, also a short training camp, 5 weeks. I don't think he was ready to go, but he took it anyway, against a guy like Jon Jones. Just keep that in mind. You're speaking about Jon Jones. This guy stepped up and fought Jon Jones. Imagine the nightmares you have, right, as a Ciryl Gane fighting a Jon Jones. Ciryl Gane was not that worried about Tom Aspinall. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. This whole fight week was probably a lot easier for him. A Jon Jones fight week with all the mind games and shit is way harder. Gane was broken mentally before that fight even started. And Jon is notorious for doing that. Is he going to box YouTubers? He wouldn't be a good he would not be a good boxer as he is now. See what I mean? See what I mean, Louis? Yeah, bullshit on that whole boxing thing. But there's more. Because Johnny Bones Jones reacted to the fucking situation. And let's start with the fact that Jon Jones put a duck with an eye patch emoji as his new profile picture. A duck with an eye patch. Crazy work. He hates Tom. And Jon accepted Alex's call out. From when Alex beat on Goliath, Jon just accepted. So Yeah, Jon going crazy on Tom Aspinall with the subtle disses. Doesn't even acknowledge Tom Aspinall. He just goes straight to Alex. Alex, I'd be down to bring the highest skill level to the White House. I appreciate the respect you showed. Let's dance. 2.5 million, bro. 2.5 million. Now, we all know Jon Jones is notorious for his eye pokes. But look, they commented this. They're all dying. Jon won't say Tom's name, but he will subtly let us know how he feels. And this profile picture is definitely it. He had to have gotten this like DM to him by a fucking fan, and he had this shit saved. Not saved, but he saved it and then posted it immediately. Let's see what the comments are saying to Jon Jones. Get that belt back. Got to be for gold. Aspinall be like, damn, shout out to Bisping. Added an eye patch. Anything that avoids Aspinall is good for you. Do you think Jones is wanting to fight Pereira due to his potential advantage on the ground? Did he decide not to fight Aspinall out of fear of loss, or really just because he saw Aspinall as not worth it for his legacy? Interesting stuff here. So, I mean, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Jon Jones, I mean, clearly, Jon Jones beat Ciryl Gane. So, this is the thing. Jon's not saying it right now, but this is what Jon's been saying for a long time, which is like, you know, this is the guy. This is the guy you guys are all saying I'm scared of. Tom Aspinall. There's almost two ways of looking at it. Jon being like, see, I told you this guy ain't shit and he wasn't worth my time. Or Jon is like, damn. Deep in his heart of hearts, he's like, damn. I can't believe I was scared of this guy. Not that I think Jon was scared of him, but more like, damn, I can't believe I thought this guy was actually a threat. Because part of me thinks, you know, he retired because he thought Tom was a little bit of a threat. But then it's like, if he thought he was a bum, why would he take the $30 million to fight him? LOL. Yeah, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he, Jew? Yeah, why wouldn't he? No, I feel you, and that's why I think part of me does believe Jon thought Tom was a serious threat. I don't think he thought he was scared of Tom, but I think he thought Tom was a serious threat and wanted to get more film study on him, and also wanted him to go through another fight camp, you know, possibly get some more nicks and cuts and bruises on him, soften him up, and then give him to him. But Jon's probably looking at it like, damn, you know what I mean? I didn't need him to do any of that. I could have just fought him right then and there. Maybe. That's a theory. That's a theory. But yeah, nothing too crazy with Jon Jones. Just a simple tweet. And then you got Pereira. Let me see here. You got Pereira calling out Tom Aspinall. Let's make the heavyweight division great again. Kind of a pun on the White House. And look, Stone versus Bone equals House. Oh no, he's calling out Jon Jones. I didn't even realize that. Stone versus Bone. Okay, so I don't know if other people caught on to this, but I might be late to the party. Pereira's calling out Jon Jones for the UFC White House after this. Okay. Got you. Stone versus Bone equals House. That's a big money fight right there, boys. That's a big money fight. No matter what anyone wants to say, that's a big money fight. Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira. It's also the most accoladed fight possible. You know what I mean? The most accoladed fight imaginable. We need this fight, and we've been needed this fight since last year. Things, you know, they both went in their separate paths, and here they are, joining back up again. 2026 UFC White House, June 14th or something like that. Trump's birthday. Fix the UFC gloves ASAP, make them closed, as there is way too much eye gouging. Chris Light. Man, I don't know what they can do. I don't know what they can do. And it's like, bro, I don't know. What do you guys think? Genuinely, tell me what you guys think. Aspinall going in on a takedown attempt. Ciryl Gane poking him on the first attempt. There's no way of proving it. But what are the odds that his corner, right, beforehand was like, hey, man, on that first takedown attempt, fuck this guy. Poke him in the fucking eye if you have to. You know, it's just a warning. We'd rather just deal with that than actually get taken down and lose the round. If you get a point taken, then you would have lost the round anyway if you would have got taken down. So it's worth it. I don't know. I don't know. If you guys have an opinion, let me know on that, because I'm actually kind of like debating that in my head right now. Because right now, Gane's getting the rap of like, I'm a good guy, you know, playing that off, selling it off, right? And he's sorry and all that stuff. And then Aspinall is getting a lot of shit from one camp. Aspinall is getting a lot of shit from one camp. But it's like, what if behind the scenes, Gane's team was planning on something like this to discourage Tom from taking him down throughout the fight? Weird move from Gane, straight out of Jon Jones' playbook, because that is out of Jon Jones' playbook. What I'm saying to you right now is out of Jon Jones' playbook. Like, what I'm saying isn't crazy. That is a fucking play. So, with that being said, how much more likely is it now? That's why I can see why Gane might not deserve a rematch right away. Okay, so Louis and Ju are at least understanding my point a little bit. All right. We're getting somewhere. Because, that would be really dirty then. If I'm right? And then you got Ciryl Gane playing babyface, crying. You know what I mean? That's not chill. We'll never be able to prove it. But something tells me. Why don't we look up the stats real quick on UFC.com? I feel like this is going to back up or refute what I have to say. Have Aspinall fight the Russian or Alex. Dana already said the rematch is happening, so we got no choice. I want to know how many takedown attempts, right? Oh, would you look at that? Exactly as I predicted it. Tom Aspinall, 0 of 1 on takedown attempts. On the first takedown attempt. Allow me to pull up the bookmark. Shout out Casual MMA. Sometimes these troll accounts, they be having points. What does that say? Gane stopped the takedown with an eye poke, by the way. Not only the takedown, but the first and only takedown attempt of the fight. I feel like stopping a takedown with an eye poke is way more obvious that you could have meant it than just standing out in the open, striking, boom, accidental eye poke. You know what I mean? But when the response to a takedown attempt is hand in the face, bro, I don't know, bro. I don't like the look of that. That's what I'm going to say. I can't accuse anybody, but I'm going to say I don't like the look of that at all. And the fact that this is getting 67K views, 3.7K likes, that's not a coincidence. A lot of people are like, damn, really? Somebody saying, honestly, when an eye poke is this bad, it should be either an automatic point deduction if the fight continues or an automatic disqualification if the fight doesn't continue. You'll see how quickly eye pokes disappear. Yeah, I'm with it. Because at the end of the day, it was a foul on Ciryl Gane's part. And Tom Aspinall is getting a lot of the blame when it's like, dude, control your fucking weapons. Again, in football, do we blame the guy who interfered, the pass, or do we blame the receiver for wanting the penalty? Right? Are you guys picking it up here? Pass interference call. The cornerback in football, right? He's the one who interferes the pass by touching the receiver while the ball's in the air. In what world is it ever the receiver's fault, or does the receiver get flack for that penalty? Never. So, I don't know why Tom's getting a lot of the flack here when Ciryl Gane caused the penalty. And with that being said that Ciryl Gane caused the penalty, the fight couldn't continue. The fact that it's no contest, you could argue it should just be a win for Tom Aspinall. You foul your opponent, he can't continue. That should be chalked up to some degree as a win. In some worlds, it would be that, I feel like. You know? In some other sports, I don't know all the sports out there, but, you know, a DQ something. You do something illegal, the opponent can't continue. I don't know. Something tells me that should be a loss. Or at least there's a conversation. At least there's an argument for it. Motherfucker should be fighting through the pain. Every person that was booing. Absolutely disgusting. And this isn't the first time Ciryl has eye poked. They want to get this out of the sport automatically to deduct a point, intentional or not. They will disappear quick. They will disappear quick smart. Imavov does the same shit too. The French Invader special. So yeah, this guy comes from the same gym as another notorious eye poker, Imavov. If you know, you know. Chris Light says deliberate eye gouge. Okay, Chris. Okay, so we're getting somewhere here, boys. Because look at Ciryl Gane's sorry ass face. I mean, you see it in the thumbnail. Look at him looking up.
So I started the fight very well. I know he loves to start very fast. And so I was...
Here we go. His sorry ass face. His sorry ass face, dude. But he's an actor now, right? So is he just dipping into his acting bag real quick? This sorry ass face. This dude was crying in the octagon. I'm not going to say he intentionally did it. But I'm going to say he could have intentionally did it. That's what I'm going to say. And I don't believe that sorry ass face for a second. I don't. Save it, bro. Fucking save it. Save that shit. Shout out to Tom Aspinall. Shout out to Dana White. Dana White doing him dirty. Okay. The other side to it is this. Tom Aspinall delete. This right here. UFC champion says he would vacate his title before fighting teammate. Tom goes, my friend Ante Delia just got his first win in the UFC and he's in the top 10. He's potentially 2 to 3 wins away from a title shot. If I'd never won a title, I would feel like we would have to fight because that's my dream. But now I've done it. I'd be like, I'll vacate it and he can have this. I'll vacate it and he can have his time. I wouldn't fight him. That's my guy. Ante Delia. And then Dana White literally reacted to it. Here it is. He goes, Dana White is not happy with Aspinall saying he will vacate if his friend, number 10 ranked Ante Delia, gets a title shot. I hate that. To even think about vacating because you don't want to compete against somebody is absolutely insane, he told UFC on TNT. So, there you have it too. There you have it too. This in combination, okay, this in combination with this, Tom Aspinall's father saying he doesn't want to sign a new contract, okay, this in combination with this is what resulted in this.
Because of the Jon Jones fight, I think everybody was sleeping on Ciryl Gane and sort of wrote him off. And he's right behind me. He's coming in next, so you guys can ask him how he felt. But I feel like, you know, I'm sure in his camp, he was training like an animal for this fight. And it's unfortunate that it ended the way that it did. And, yes, I think that there probably will be a lot more interest in the rematch after they saw, you know, he had Tom bloodied up. And, you know, Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. So the rematch is very interesting. What's that?
So there you have it. You know what I mean? Damn, Holloway did the same thing to Gaethje. That's fucked. Oh yeah, look at this. Get a load of this.
To do, and you, for whatever reason, you guys did whatever you did. You know, the disgust that he felt, because he knows this is going to affect his legacy, his fault or not. Well, don't be mad at me. You had a job to do, and you, for whatever reason, you guys did whatever you did, and you didn't do your job. I'm not saying it's Tom's fault, and I'm not gonna, you know, pretend that I know how bad it is or isn't. I think Chael made a poetic point that you have to be used to or willing to fight with one eye. I did it in Singapore. Everyone talks about it all the time, where the ladies waving stuff in front of my eyes. I can't see it. So what do? I just walk away and say, let's fight. You just like you either want to or you don't. And my fight wasn't for a world title. I didn't have Ciryl Gane in front of me throwing bombs. But the second that there was an issue, I knew that I wanted to continue, so I know what to say. You never say I can't see if you want to continue to fight. So when they ask the question, you just nod your head and you just walk away. Like, you find a way to get away from the doctor. If you want to fight, you can fight.
My trainer, Coach Clayton, when we'd be practicing, every now and then he would yell out to the whole room, close your left eye. And then he'd open your left eye, close your right eye later. He'd say, don't breathe through your nose anymore, breathe through your mouth. And the idea was, if your eye gets swollen and it gets shut, or if your nose gets clogged and you can't breathe, that you're kind of used to these things. Tom said something, and look, we got to dwell on a guy in a really bad moment, but to dwell on him, he said, I got poked in the eye, I can't see. If you got poked in the eye and you're injured, we have a totally different conversation. If you get poked in the eye and you can't see, generally in our sport, that's just something you've got to push through.
So they think he should have pushed through it. So yeah, you got Chael Sonnen and Anthony Smith talking some shit. I don't know. They're fighters. They're allowed to say what they want to say. Maybe they're a little bit too old school. I don't know. I don't know what to say, but they got valid opinions. They're certified. I think they're getting flack for it, though. Two fighters that didn't sniff the belt. Okay, fuck that. Tom didn't do anything to deserve having to fight at a disadvantage. And title fights deserve to be fought on equal footing. Oh yeah, the mighty Anthony Smith and 5th round tapper Chael are talking about quitting. How are you going to be when the going gets tough? I'm not a fighter myself, but this is a wild take. Tom got hit with an illegal strike, altering the entire trajectory of the fight. LOL. Not a good look for Tom. The only way to clear this mess will be through a rematch in the very near future and to never again verbally tap out. Ciryl is the champ in my opinion until proven otherwise. Damn. Anthony Smith, the quitter himself, and Chael, who quits in the 5th round of a title fight that he was dominating. Had Tom kept going and lost because he couldn't see, both these guys would have said, well, if Tom couldn't see, he should have stopped the fight. That's facts, and we'll end it on that. We will end it on this one right here. Had Tom kept going and lost because he couldn't see, both these guys would have said, quote unquote, well, if Tom couldn't see, he should have stopped the fight. That's a fact, isn't it? That's a fucking fact. So, keep that in mind. I think we won't tolerate Tom slander. And free Tom Aspinall. We think there is potential that Ciryl Gane eye poke was intentional. Alright? And Dana White needs to... Well, Dana White, just know that whoever he's playing favorites with, he doesn't care about all of this stuff. He cares about the financials. And like I said, he's doing this to Tom. He's not on Tom's side because he found his loophole, right, to go at Tom after the shit that was happening this fight week. Tom saying he would vacate his belt if his friend Ante D'Elia moves up the rankings. And his dad saying that he doesn't want him to resign and he wants to go into boxing. Dana found his loophole to go after the Aspinalls, and he is. So it's Dana versus the Aspinalls now.